dong, the witch is gone. As Justin Fidel Castro Trudeau has officially resigned as the leader and dictator of Canada. As no surprise, he got emotional during his address to the nation, as the news was met with overwhelming cheer and support from a lot of people that value freedom, liberty, and the ability to actually have some kind of pursuit of happiness. As the memes now were pretty glorious on Twitter about this whole scenario.
So long, gay boy!
As it's fair to say, the larger geopolitical shift that is happening right now in Canada is an example of what just happened here in the United States, and what soon could be gripping all of Europe, as of course a lot of people are now voicing their support for right-wing populist candidates there, as the left-wing woke agenda is absolutely finally being recalled, addressed, and crammed down the toilet where it deserves to be with the rest of the peanutty corn crap that the establishment tried to shove down our throats. As we have to understand here that Donald Trump essentially played a major role in this, not only by winning the popular vote here, but also specifically trolling Justin Trudeau by offering him to become the 51st state of the United States, and in many instances calling him the governor of Canada, as he even came out many times on his social media accounts calling for Canada to become the 51st state of the United States, taunting him with statehood after publicly criticizing Canada for its trade practices that, according to him, were exploiting the United States, which in my opinion, they absolutely were. As Trump has also suggested that Wayne Gretzky should become the next Prime Minister of Canada, as he's also floating around other plans about cutting Canadian taxes by up to 60%, which would allow Canadian businesses to, quote, immediately double in size, and, quote, that they would also have the best military protected country like no country anywhere in the world. This as Donald Trump proposed a 25% tariff on Canada after Justin Trudeau actually came to Mar-a-Lago here to South Florida in order to meet with Donald Trump, a meeting that, according to a lot of sources, was very tumultuous, as Donald Trump didn't hold back, specifically with the tongue lashing and larger reality that Justin Trudeau had to face that probably impacted him, as his liberal woke policies that literally took the bank accounts of people who criticized his government, took away people's abilities to defend themselves, taking their legally purchased defensive tools and shipping them off to Ukraine, leaving the borders wide open, criminalizing people for their political thoughts and expressions, was something that, of course, didn't jive with the Canadian people, as, of course, now there was overwhelming videos that everywhere Justin Trudeau met, a lot of people literally went around him, took out the camera, and said a lot of expletives that we cannot mention here on this family-friendly broadcast, as I think D-Friends or Memes definitely has the best take on the Canadians after hearing that Trudeau will be resigning. As not to be outdone, Poppy Trumpo on Twitter also had this beautiful meme.
Hello, everyone.
Says now the larger question remains, what will be the future of Canada, as it looks like a lot of people are now more open to right-wing ideas, as Justin Trudeau, even a few months ago, was talking about closing down the border and resending a lot of his horrible policies that have brought a lot of stress, pressure, and hardships on his fellow Canadian people. This as even papers were flying off of his podium before making this larger emotional announcement, while other people literally celebrated, cheered, and danced in the streets. As of course, the only people distraught and traumatized by this news was, of course, his loyal puppeteers at the corporate media, like this chunky lady that really wasn't happy about this announcement.
Of cabinet entirely. That entire plan fell apart. And Chrystia Freeland left in a dramatic fashion on the very day she was supposed to table the fall economic update. Justin Trudeau was forced to put in place a new finance minister, shuffle his cabinet to some extent. And for the past couple of weeks, he has been spending time with his family, presumably talking to advisors and friends about next steps. And as soon as he comes out of that door, he will tell us that his next step is to leave as leader of the Liberal Party of Canada. He is, we are told, going to take about 4 questions, 2 in English, 2 in French. So I won't get my year-end interview at this moment either, David, but I would imagine that this is a difficult moment for the Prime Minister. He can be an emotional person.
Well, sucks for you, lady, as, the emotions run high in Soy Boys, as the political and legal challenges were very vast for Justin Trudeau in the build-up to a lot of this, as many people, including ourselves, were telling you that it was only a matter of time until, of course, he succeeded the realms of power, the ring of Sauron that he inherited and gave himself. This, as Canada is going to have some very interesting political and legal battles ahead of it, as a lot of people believe Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is going to be replacing Trudeau, as we might be having a Make Canada Great Again kind of moment here, as the neighbors to the north might be getting their house in order, might actually be taking care of their priorities, their own people, as it's also fair to say the economic damage has been done. The cultural damage also has been done with the open border policies and the larger disarmament of the Canadian people, which unraveling and fixing is going to be a very tough job for the future Conservative leadership of that country to fix. As what we're seeing today, as described by the Daily Mail, is a humiliating fall of the left's pretty boy prime minister. And good on him, as of course this definitely does highlight how the future looks very bright, potentially for the previous oppressed people of Canada, as there will be an election that will be held by late October, as of course in the Canadian political system the prime minister is not elected directly by the voters, but chosen by members of the majority party in parliament. Currently it is the left-leaning Liberals that can't get their ish together. Oh, who would have thought? Liberals. They can't figure things out. As Trudeau said specifically that he will stay on until his party selects its new leader through a robust nationwide competitive quote process. This says it's also possible that Christina Freeland, a very oppressive, tyrannical figure with ties to some very bad people during the 1930s, might actually be getting the nod here, as of course Donald Trump also mocked her recent resignation, which threw Justin Trudeau's political party into total disarray. This says Justin Trudeau has already been in power for over 9 years. This says current polling is showing that the Conservatives overwhelmingly are the favorites to beat out the Liberals in the upcoming 2025 elections, as a lot of people are suggesting that Trudeau had to kind of quit because he was facing an overwhelming amount of pushback, and also he was essentially the one generalized dictator-like figure that abused his position of power and took advantage of his constituents. As of course now him being gone, the Liberals are trying to save face here and trying to of course bring forward a new type of leader that could potentially shape things up politically, and the poll numbers that are absolutely not in their favor right now. Now, what do you think is going to be the future of Canada? Well, let's be honest, the great neighbor up north doesn't have the best track record of electing the best people. It's usually Bilderberg members. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comment section below. And in the meantime, don't become a beta soy boy and go to WeAreChange.shop and get yourself some really awesome, incredible supplements to optimize your personal health and well-being. Lots of soy boys don't have a lot of good protein intake, and that's why we created Common Sense Creatine, available on WeAreChange.shop, which is the best in the game. No gimmicks, no nonsense, just pure, clean creatine, which will help you advance your strength, endurance, and peak performance in the gym and everyday life. If you're an older lady, this is really good for cognitive function, as the studies with creatine that are coming out are absolutely incredible. Do your own due diligence, do your own homework, and then come back to WeAreChange.shop. Get yourself some Common Sense Creatine, the best product on the market. We literally did our research, talked to a lot of health professionals, and they said this stuff right here, I take every single day, by the way. Pardon my nails, I was literally just gardening right before this video. This stuff right here, the best on the market. Get yourself some ultimate unlimited gains on WeAreChange.shop by getting yourself some Common Sense Creatine, stepping up your game, your cognitive function, and your physical peak performance, which you should do. So you're not a liberal soy boy that allows Justin Trudeau to trample over your rights, civil liberties, and self-defense capabilities. Love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/WeAreChange.